New Year, guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to do the usual weekly market breakdown. So I'm just going to go through a couple of pairs and tell you guys exactly what I'll have on my watch list and what I'll be looking to trade this week. So this will be a weekly forecast for the new week as well. And as always, if you are new to the channel, a sub would be really appreciated, as I do provide valuable educational content on a daily basis. And if you enjoy the content, please smash that like button, and as always, let me know down in the comments below exactly what it is that you would like for me to discuss in my next video. Now, before we get to the market breakdown, I just want to go over some news events that we got happening next week. So we are kicking off the week next week with some quite aggressive US dollar news. Excuse me. We got the PMI coming out, job openings. We've got the NFP. We've got the ADP. We've got the FOMC. We've got the PMI, and then we've got the NFP coming out next week Friday as well. So it's quite going to be a pump week for the US dollar in particular. So that is just something that you need to keep a lookout for as well. But I am going to make daily breakdowns of certain pairs throughout the week as well. And then as just want to go through this 5 economic flashpoints to watch out for this year as well. Things that can impact the economy. So we know that the new variant for the COVID, which is the Omicron. We've got the inflation, which is probably the biggest concern for the US dollar at the moment. We've got China eats the buffers and turns nasty, a crisis in emerging markets, and a financial crash. These are the big things that you need to look out for this year. So I'm not going to go through this whole article. So these were just key points that I wanted to highlight to you guys as well. Now let's go over some technical data, and so I can share with you guys exactly what it is that I'll be looking at this week in particular. So I'll do a breakdown from the monthly all the way to the daily time frame as well. So this is just going to be some technical data um, uh, from uh, from our side. So starting on the monthly time frame on the NZD cat, we can see how the market has just printed this equal low, also acting as a strong level of support. So there's quite a pullback expected from this level as always, and also we had this massive impulse to the downside. And if you take your Fibonacci from the high to the low, we can see how the market had tested and rejected 61.8, the 0.50 as well. So there's quite a pullback downward to be expected on NZD CAT. Now, here on the weekly time frame, what do we have over here? Now we can see how the market had printed this information, and we can see how the market had not pulled back to that neckline as we would have loved to see. So we could probably expect that to happen in the week, or in this week coming, before we can start looking for potential selling opportunities. Now here on the daily time frame, it's quite clear. We have this information also on the daily excuse me. So we can definitely expect a pullback to the neckline before continuing higher. And if you take our Fibonacci there from the low to the high, we can see we've got a 0.50 that's lining up perfectly with that structural level that we have over there. So the best way to approach this situation going into the new week is I'll probably wait for a pullback to the neckline of the W formation and then start looking for selling opportunities to the downside as well. Next in line over here, we've got gold, which is something that I've been speaking about many times before. So I've spoken about gold from the monthly to the daily to the weekly, and you can refer back to the gold videos that I've done. I've also explained, I've also made a breakdown on gold when gold was sitting at this level, and I explained all the reasons for why we wanted to see this massive this massive impulse there for the market to go and hit that level as well. And you can refer again back to the previous gold analysis that I did. We also took a buy on gold from there, and we still in the buy as well. Now the best way to approach the situation here on gold currently, because we have now hit the structural level, is quite simple. We can also expect a pullback from this level, and the way we measure that is by taking off Fibonacci there from the low to the high, and we can see how this 0.382 is lining up perfectly with structure. Now because we are testing a strong level of resistance, we can expect gold to pull back coming into the new week before continuing higher as well. So the best way to approach gold from from a swing trading perspective is wait for a pullback to the 0.382. Also, for the market had created this resistance that got broken, which is now turned support there as well. Now looking at USD JPY, so I've also spoken about USD JPY as well when the market was sitting at this level, explaining all the reasons for why I wanted to see the market continuing higher. We have broken above that structure, and we could probably expect the market from where it is now to probably go and sorry about that, for the market to go and hit that level first before we can, before we can expect a pullback from this level over there as well. So the best way to approach the situation here on the USD JPY is you can see how the market had now broken above this level of resistance. So we've got the new level of resistance there as well. So you expect the market to hit that level of resistance um, first there, and then this resistance that got broken would then be turned support. So the best way to approach the situation on here is wait for the market to go and hit that level. Then on the retest, we can start looking for potential buying opportunities. Alternatively, the best the alternative method would be to wait for the market to break below this level and then continuing lower. So the best way, as I always say, is to be reactive and not predictive and learn to adapt to the ever-changing market environment. So I'm going to make an update on USD ZAR as well. So I've spoken about USD ZAR when the market printed this red candle over there, and I explained all the reasons for why we wanted to see the market start moving higher from this level. And that is exactly what the market had done. The market started pulling quite aggressively from that level. Now, to give you guys an update from a daily perspective, now the best way to approach the situation that we currently have over here, so we have this massive impulse, so we obviously expect a correction, and the way we measure that is by taking our Fibonacci there from the low to the high, and we can see we have this level over here that the market had broken, which was acting as a level of resistance that is now turned support. So the best way to approach the situation is wait for the market to go and test that level again, as go test that level as a level of support first before the market continue higher as well. Now the situation that we got here on Euro USD, so I've spoken about Euro USD as well. So I said that there was no way for us to look for any potential setups because the Euro USD was basically stuck within this consolidation, but we can see how the market had broken out of this area now as well. Now this area acted as a strong level of resistance. Now we have this massive impulse. After an impulse you expect a correction, and the best way to measure that is to making sure that the 0.382 is lining up perfectly with structure. So the best way to approach the situation is wait for the market to continue slightly higher, then on the pullback we can start looking for potential swinging opportunities here on Euro USD as well. Excuse me. So on GBP USD, what do we have over here? So here on the monthly time frame, we can see how last month's closing was above this previous level of support that was resistance. Resistance got broken, and all of this resistance is once again support. So we can expect the GBP USD to pull back slightly before continuing higher as well. Now you can see here from a weekly perspective, the market is currently testing that strong level of support that is now turned resistance, and the market had also given us this W formation on the weekly time frame, so we can expect to pull back before continuing higher as well. Now on the daily time frame, excuse me, so yeah, on the daily time frame we can see how the market had created this structural level that we have over there, and that area acted there is a structural level of resistance, and when the resistance gets broken it then becomes support. So we can expect the market going into next week to pull slightly higher before going lower, and then we can start looking for potential buying opportunities as well as potential selling opportunities from there as well. Now the situation that we got here on NZD USD, so starting on the monthly time frame, we can see how NZD USD, is stuck between this, between these two levels over there. So the market stuck between a level of support and a level of resistance. On the weekly, the market printed this over extended information, and we can see how the market is busy testing the neckline of the weekly information as well. Now on the daily time frame, what do we have over here? So let me just go back. So we can expect so we can expect the NZD USD going into next week, to slightly pull in higher before continuing lower. Also, if you take your Fibonacci there from the low to the high, as you know, that we need to pull back to at least the 0.382 before the market continue lower. So there's definitely a possibility for us to start looking for some buying opportunities on here as well. You can see how the market just printed this impulse correction. So the best way to measure the next correction is by taking off Fibonacci there from the low to the high, and we can definitely expect some slight continuation before the pullback, and then start looking for buying opportunities there on NZD USD as well. So the best way to approach the situation here is wait for wait for the market to pull back to this level over here. This level over here has now acted as a level of resistance, and it got broken, and after resistance gets broken, it then becomes a level of support. And we obviously want to measure the next correction to the 0.382, so there's a good possibility for NZD USD to continue slightly higher next week before pulling lower. So the Nasdaq 100 I've spoken about as well on Friday last week, and you can see exactly how the market had created all the moves as we anticipated. We've also taken the sell in the group as well. So I'm not going to go over this again because we're still riding the wave down. And then the US 500, same thing happened here. I explained all the reasons for why we took that sell on Thursday as well. And then the US 30, same thing also. We sold the US 30, the US 500, and the Nasdaq 100 as well. So I'm not going to do another breakdown on this. So we're basically waiting for the market to pull back to that level and then start looking for buying opportunities. The same thing is going to happen on the US 500 as well as the US 30 there as well. Now, as always, if you enjoyed the video, please smash that like button. And as always, because it helps the YouTube algorithm, it is a new year, new opportunities is going to come, and we are going to capitalize as much as we can. And as always, thank you for taking out the time, out of your busy day to watch the video. And if there is other people that you know of, please share this video with them so that they can also learn something from this educational content as well. As always, thank you so much for your time. You have yourself a beautiful, productive week, and cheers for years.